welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about anxiety. It is... yeah. It is Monday, so this is the first video for this week, and then the following will be on Wednesday and Friday. I am doing a video on anxiety because since I have had children, I have suffered with it. Prior, never suffered with anything before, but obviously having children, it does that to you. And I'm going to give you some tips and some tricks and some things I do to reduce my anxiety and try and get a grip on the bad thing that it is. Blippi. No, this is Mummy. This is Mummy for Mummy's channel, not Blippi's channel. This is Mummy's channel. Anyway, if you know me well or you watch my channel, you know that I'm going back to work tomorrow. I have to do 2 weeks worth of training, which is 8:30 till 4:30, and then on the third week, that's a pen. On the third week, I am doing shadow shifts. So one will be 7 till 2, the other 2 till 7, and then 7 till 7. So 3 shadow shifts. So basically, for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be away from the boys for basically the whole day. And I haven't done that for 3 years. So I've been off work for 3 years. So obviously my anxiety is quite high at the moment, which is completely normal. However, I have got some tips, tricks, ideas, things that I do to minimalise this that may be able to help you. So Rupert, hey? Oh, thank you very much. So, first tip, have a look at your lifestyle. Are you getting down? Oh, okay, right. Have a look at your lifestyle. How we live our life is a dramatic thing on our mental health. So when I say lifestyle, the 4 areas I want you to look at is your sleep, your eating, your exercising, and what you're doing in general life. So I know as a mum it is hard to do all of these things, but if you can get a grip on it and change your routine so that these are implemented daily, it will really start to make a difference. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is food. Prior to Fred coming along, / about 3 months ago, we used to eat freezer stuff, we used to have takeaways, and junk basically is what we used to eat. There was no organisation with mine and Stuart's food. Now we have vegetables, we have fresh meat, etc, and specific meal times we eat. So that's the first thing. You need to look at what you're consuming, because we are like plants, so what you consume is what you will get out. Have a look at your food, get a routine, have breakfast, lunch and dinner, try not to snack, and eat healthy things in that. Second thing, sleep. I know it's a ridiculous thing to say to a mother with children, have sleep. I've got a 10-month-old and a 2-year-old, so sleep is a very rare thing in this household. However, if your children are having a nap. Don't worry about the housework, sleep. Your body is known scientifically to repair when you sleep, and the medicine for sleep is amazing. I really believe that. So try and sleep when and if you can. Third tip, exercise. Don't go and join a gym and spend thousands of pounds, but walk to nursery instead of get the bus. Go to the park after nursery instead of going straight home. You get my drift. And the fourth tip is just have a look at your general life. If there's certain things that make your anxiety high, for example, you have low income, or you don't like your partner, or you've got a dog that's not well trained, things that are raising your anxiety that can be changed, try and implement the change and do that. You coming back, Rupert? Oh, you got cars and crayons. So that's the first thing. Have a look at your lifestyle and try and implement change and difference to make it better. Okay, so the second tip I've got is something that my therapist told me last week. If you don't know, I had postnatal depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, and I still have sprinkles of it. The NHS only gave me 3 months worth of free counselling through Steps to Wellbeing, which is not a local like Mind or mental health charity. So after that I decided to get my own private counsellor and pay for it, just to do a few sessions to finish a few things off. Anyway, she told me a really good story, and it basically went along the lines of this. There was a good wolf and a bad wolf. You can work the difference out: anxiety, depression, mental health, trouble, stress, happy, normality, happiness basically. So these 2 wolves were fighting, and there was a little boy. This is the little boy. Rupert, be the little boy, look. So this was the little boy, and he said to the chief that was watching the 2 wolves fight, who's gonna win? Because they're both fighting and no one's giving up, so who's gonna win? And the chief said to the little boy, the wolf that you feed. So the wolf that you feed So basically, the more energy and time you put into the good wolf or your good aspects in life, that's who will win. The more energy and time you put into being depressed, being anxious, being worried, that one will win. And I thought that was a brilliant story. So she told me that story and that's really stuck with me. The wolf that you will feed is who will win. So that's really, really true. Oh, darling, don't break it. Rupert's putting his car in my candle, so he's breaking the wick. So yes, the third tip I have is if you suffer with panic attacks or anxiety quite severely, it's called square breathing. I've mentioned it before on my channel, but I use it quite frequently when I'm in an anxious situation, like doing training or doing something new. You basically find anything square in the room and you breathe in from one side, breathe out for the other, in for one and out for the other. And if you do that for 2 minutes, it will regulate your breathing so much so and make you concentrate so much so on just that object that it brings you back down to earth, and it also, you know, calms you and basically stops you having a panic attack, which I thought was fantastic. I used that before. I've had one panic attack in my life, and every time I've ever been in an anxious situation, I have done that and it has worked. So that's square breathing. I will put the description of what it is in the link below. There we go. The fourth tip that I have is to rationalise. When you have any type of anxiety or depression or mental health issue, rationale just seems to completely go out the window, and I know this for a fact because I've had it to myself. So when you're anxious about a situation, I'm going to use the example of a friend not texting you back. I know there's multiple ones and that's probably a really silly one, but that's the basic one that I can think of. So your friend, your mum, your cousin, your auntie hasn't texted you back. So you've got anxiety going, it's because she hates you, it's because she wasn't even your friend anyway, it's because she doesn't like you, etc, etc. So all the stupid, irrational, completely not true, anxious voices and words that you will hear. What I want you to do is, while this is going like that, I want you rationally to think of 5 things, or however many anxious things you've come up with, unless it's millions, obviously half it, but 5 rational reasons of why it will be that your friend, auntie, cousin didn't text you back. So the first thing would be her phone has died, she's run out of credit, her phone's on charge, she's busy with the kids, she's cooking dinner. Rational reasons, because by the time this has done this and made you go nuts, by the time you've done this and rationalised and brought yourself back down to earth, she would have texted you back, and all of this will just go. So try and rationalise when you're in an anxious situation or you have an anxious circumstance coming up. Rationalise. The 5th tip I've got is to talk. Write or talk. It's like therapy if you can't afford it or the NHS won't give it to you. It's like therapy to keep a journal or to talk to someone. Ring your mum, ring your nan, ring your best friend, or to a degree, if you've got no one, talk to your children. They might not be able to talk you back, but getting it off your chest will make something of nothing, so to speak. My 6th tip will be Rhodalia Rose. If you watched my vitamin video before, or if you haven't, I will put it in the description, the little link, you can click on it and watch it, that will be great. Is a adaptogen. Long story short, in our brains, whenever we get stressed or anxious, we have adaptogens that just go nuts. Rhodalia Rose brings those adaptogens down to a minimum, reduces your stress. Rupert's bringing all his cars in for me. Reduces your stress, which then reduces your anxiety. So that is my 6th tip. So my 7th and final tip is to ground yourself. When the world gets a bit too much, or you are anxious or in a situation you don't necessarily feel comfortable in, and it's all just a little bit too much, which can often happen to us as mums, is the 5 rule. This is a grounding rule that many people have spoken to me about and told me, and I have done, and it has worked wonders. It works like this. So the 5th rule or tip is, the 5th step, so to speak, is list, name, say out loud 5 things that you can see in the environment or situation you are in. The 4th is to write, list, or say out loud 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can like smell or taste, and 1 thing is to ground yourself and just count from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1, whichever way you want to do it. This is a fantastic grounding rule just to bring you back down to earth and make you feel like you're in the situation you're in. I've had many experiences where I feel or felt that I wasn't really with it and I wasn't here and it was all a bit too much. So yeah, that's the 5 grounding rule, tip, trick, whatever. So they are my tips and tricks for anxiety. I will link everything I've mentioned in the description below. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I hope you can get something from this video, because as you're all aware, I made this channel for that exact reason. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, WhatsApp me, write it in my comments, whatever. I'd love to hear from you. I'd also love you to pass me on to your friends if you think I can help them, because this is the reason why I'm doing it. Thank you very much for watching. See you on Wednesday and then again on Friday, because that's my new routine, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. And thank you very much. Goodbye.